Emma Torres drags herself up 4 flights of stairs, her food delivery uniform damp with sweat from a 12-hour shift. The ancient elevator's out-of-order sign mocks her aching feet, just like it has for the past 3 months. As she rounds the corner to her floor, she nearly trips over a large package propped against her door. "Great," she mutters, not remembering ordering anything. Her phone shows no delivery notifications, and her bank account, hovering dangerously close to double digits, certainly hasn't supported any recent shopping sprees. The package is surprisingly heavy as she lugs it inside her studio apartment. The space is small enough that she can see her entire life from the doorway. The fold-out couch that doubles as her bed, the kitchenette with its perpetually dripping faucet, and a cramped bathroom where the door only opens halfway before hitting the toilet. A past-due rent notice brightens her fridge like an unwelcome Christmas decoration. Emma flicks on the overhead light, wincing at the harsh fluorescent glare that makes everything look worse than it already does. The package's shipping label catches her eye. Same building number, but Unit 4B instead of her 4D. She should return it immediately. That would be the right thing to do. But it's almost midnight, and her neighbors might not appreciate a knock this late. "I'll drop it off first thing tomorrow," she tells herself, already reaching for the packing tape. The box opens easily, and Emma's world stops spinning. Beneath a layer of bubble wrap, neat stacks of $100 bills stare back at her. Her hands shake as she pulls out one bundle, then another and another. The money feels different from the tips she handles at work, crisper, newer, like it's just emerged from a bank vault. She counts quickly, then again more slowly, her heart pounding so hard she can hear it in her ears. $300,000. More money than she's ever seen in her life. Her studio apartment suddenly feels like a fishbowl. Emma rushes to close the curtains, even though she's 4 stories up. Her phone buzzes with a text from her sister Catherine. Test results came back. Doc wants to try new treatment. Insurance denied it. Can we talk? Emma sinks onto her fold-out couch, the package still gaping open on her coffee table. Catherine's last round of chemo drained her savings, and now Emma's eyes drift to the past-due rent notice, then to the money, then back to her sister's text. The sound of heavy footsteps in the hallway makes her jump. Through her peephole, she watches a man she's never seen before approach apartment 4B. He's massive, with muscles stretching his black t-shirt and a cobra tattoo coiling up his neck. He pounds on 4B's door hard enough to rattle the hallway's flickering light fixture. "Open up." His voice booms through the thin walls. "Where's my package?" Emma backs away from her door, her heart in her throat. The money suddenly feels radioactive. She should call the police, but what would she say? That she opened someone else's package. That she's sitting on what's probably drug money while a human mountain rages 3 doors down. Her phone buzzes again. Another text from Catherine. "Pretty scared, sis." Emma stares at the message, then at the money, then at her peephole where the man is now making threats about consequences to 4B's closed door. Her tiny studio feels like it's shrinking, the walls closing in with each of the man's pounding fists. The right choice is obvious. Simple. Clear-cut. But as Emma listens to the man's violent promises echo through the hallway and reads her sister's desperate text again, she realizes something that turns her stomach. Sometimes the right choice and the necessary choice aren't the same thing. She shoves the money back in the box and slides it under her fold-out couch, hands trembling. Sleep will be impossible tonight, but one thing is certain. This package has just made her small world infinitely more complicated. Dawn creeps through Emma's curtains, painting shadows across her sleepless face. She hasn't moved from her vigil by the peephole since 3 a.m., when the man with the cobra tattoo finally gave up his pounding and disappeared down the stairwell. The package beneath her fold-out couch seems to pulse like a second heartbeat, a constant reminder of her predicament. Her phone screen glows with a dozen missed calls from work. She should have started her morning shift at the diner 20 minutes ago. But leaving her apartment means risking a confrontation she's not prepared to face. Through the peephole's fisheye lens, she watches the morning parade of neighbors heading to work, each footstep making her flinch. At 9:17 a.m., Cobra Tattoo returns. This time, he's not alone. Emma's breath fogs the peephole as she watches him and a shorter, well-dressed man in an expensive suit approach 4B. The contrast between them is striking. The suited man's manicured appearance against Cobra's muscled menace. They speak in hushed tones, but in the hollow acoustics of the hallway, fragments of their conversation reach her door. Needs to be handled quietly, the suited man says, straightening his gold cufflinks. We can't afford attention. Quiet went out the window when they stole from us. Cobra growls, cracking his knuckles. Boss wants examples made. The suited man produces a ring of keys, and Emma's heart stops as he begins trying them in 4B's lock. She knows what they'll find. An empty apartment. The previous tenant moved out 2 weeks ago, leaving nothing but a lingering smell of cigarettes and unpaid utility bills. The door to 4B creaks open. Empty. Cobra's voice echoes. The little rat cleared out. Check the surveillance cameras, the suited man orders, and find out who else lives on this floor. Someone must have seen something. Emma backs away from her peephole, her legs shaking. The building's security cameras. How could she have forgotten? Her mind races through the previous night. The package delivery, her bringing it inside. All of it potentially captured on video. Her phone vibrates. Catherine again. Starting new treatment today. Wish you were here, sis. Footsteps approach her door. Emma freezes, barely breathing. A shadow passes beneath her doorframe, pausing briefly before moving on. She hears doors being knocked on throughout the hallway. They're interviewing the neighbors. Mrs. Rodriguez from 4A's voice carries through the walls. No package. I see nothing. Her heavy accent is followed by a door closing. More footsteps. More questions. They're getting closer. Emma's door suddenly rattles with 3 sharp knocks. She clamps a hand over her mouth to stay silent. Management. The suited man calls out. We're conducting a security check. Emma remains still, her eyes fixed on the package's corner peeking out from under her couch. Another knock, harder this time. We know you're in there, Cobra's voice rumbles. Your neighbor saw you come home last night. Emma's mind whirls. Which neighbor? Mr. Chen from 4C. He always seems to be watching the hallway through his door's security chain. Or maybe Jenny from 4E, who works night shifts and passes Emma on the stairs sometimes. The knocking stops. In its place comes the distinct sound of keys jingling. Master key, the suited man says quietly. Last chance to open up voluntarily. Emma moves with desperate speed, shoving the package deeper under the couch and grabbing her purse. The bathroom window leads to the fire escape. She's never used it, but she's about to learn how. As the key turns in her lock, she's already pushing up the bathroom window frame. The metal fire escape groans under her weight. 4 stories suddenly seem much higher from this side of the building. Below, morning traffic flows obliviously along the street, while above, she hears her apartment door open and voices call out. Check everything, the suited man orders. The package has to be on this floor. Emma descends the fire escape as quietly as she can, her food delivery uniform making her look like just another worker starting their day. But inside, her mind screams a single question. How long can she run from people who clearly won't stop until they find what's theirs? Emma's hands won't stop shaking as she sits in the back corner of Marino's coffee shop, 3 blocks from her apartment. The morning rush provides welcome cover, just another face in the crowd of laptops and lats. She's already switched off her phone, remembering crime shows where people get tracked through their devices. The package sits heavy in her delivery bag, which she keeps pressed against her legs under the table. More coffee, hon? Maria, the elderly waitress, asks. Emma nearly jumps out of her skin. No, yes, please. She needs the caffeine. Sleep feels like a distant memory. The TV above the counter catches her attention as Maria pours. A local news reporter stands in front of yellow police tape, making this the third bank robbery in a series of coordinated heists. Police suspect an inside job, with evidence pointing to. Emma stops listening, her mind racing. The well-dressed man's expensive suit, his mention of the boss, the brand new bills. It all clicks. This isn't just drug money. It's worse. Much worse. Her phone sits dark on the table, tempting her. One call to the police could end this. But as she reaches for it, she remembers the Cobra tattoo. The master key, the casual way they talked about making examples. These aren't people who let witnesses walk away. The bell above the cafe door chimes. Emma's heart stops as a uniformed police officer walks in. He's just getting coffee, she tells herself. But her hands won't stop trembling as she opens her laptop, trying to look busy while Googling witness protection program requirements. The search results are interrupted by a news alert. Local bank employee found dead in apparent suicide. The photo shows a young woman, maybe a few years older than Emma, smiling in a business suit. The article mentioned she was a vault manager at First Metro Bank, the latest robbery target. No suicide. Emma whispers to herself, feeling sick. Her laptop pings with an email notification from her sister. Starting treatment today. They want $175,000 upfront for the full course. Insurance still fighting us. I'm scared. M. The timestamp, 10 minutes ago. Emma stares at the number, $175,000. She has nearly twice that sitting under her table. Blood money, probably. Evidence in what's turning into a murder investigation, definitely. The right thing to do is clear. Turn in the money. Tell the police everything. Hope they can protect her. Catherine would understand. She's always been the moral compass of the family, even through her illness. But moral compasses don't pay for experimental cancer treatments. Emma opens a new tab and searches cash deposit limits without raising flags. Then how to create offshore account. Then countries without U.S. extradition. Each search makes her feel sicker, but she keeps typing. The cafe TV drones on. Authorities advise extreme caution as these suspects are considered armed and dangerous. A new customer sits at the table next to her. Male, business casual, unremarkable. Except for the way his eyes linger on her delivery bag a moment too long. Is he one of them? Are they already closing in? Emma forces herself to breathe normally as she packs up her laptop. The man could be innocent. Paranoia is making her see threats everywhere, but she can't take chances, not with Catherine's life in the balance. She heads for the bathroom, delivery bag clutched tight. The back alley exit she noticed earlier will have to do. As she pushes through the heavy door, her phone buzzes one last time. A text from an unknown number. We know you have it. Let's talk about how this ends. In the grimy bathroom mirror, Emma hardly recognizes herself. The dark circles under her eyes and wild fear in them belong to someone else. Someone desperate. Someone dangerous. She thinks of Catherine, probably sitting in a hospital room right now, fighting for her life. Thinks of the dead bank employee, who probably also thought she was making the right choice at first. The money in her bag offers two paths, salvation or destruction, safety or danger, right or wrong. But standing in that cafe bathroom, Emma realizes there's only one real choice she can live with. She pulls out her phone, fingers hovering over the keypad. One call will set everything in motion. She just hopes she can live with the consequences. The 3 a.m. silence in Emma's borrowed bedroom feels different from her apartment's usual quiet. Her college friend Maya didn't ask questions when Emma showed up on her doorstep, just offered her spare room and promised not to tell anyone. Now, lying in the unfamiliar darkness, every sound makes Emma's skin crawl. The package sits in Maya's hall closet, wrapped in an old sweater. Emma couldn't bring herself to make the call. Not to the police, not to the number that texted her, not even to Catherine. Paralysis by fear, she thinks, Or maybe self-preservation. A floorboard creaks somewhere in the apartment. Emma's eyes snap open. Maya's out of town for a business trip. She shouldn't hear anything. Another creak, closer this time, followed by the distinct sound of the living room window sliding open. Her heart pounds as she slips out of bed, bare feet silent on the hardwood floor. The bedroom door is cracked just enough to see shadows moving in the living room. 2 figures. Maybe 3. Check everywhere. A familiar voice whispers. The suited man from her apartment. The tracker shows the money's here. Tracker. The word hits Emma like a punch to the gut. They must have planted something in the package. She's led them straight to Maya's apartment. Her phone lies on the nightstand. But calling 911 now would only alert them to her location. The bedroom window is an option, but Maya lives on the 6th floor. The fire escape might work, if she can reach it without being seen. One of the intruders moves toward the hallway where the package is hidden. Another shadow approaches the bedroom. Emma backs away from the door, looking frantically for a weapon. Nothing but decorative pillows and fashion magazines. The bedroom doorknob turns slowly. Emma ducks into the en-suite bathroom, closing the door as quietly as possible. Her hands shake as she locks it, knowing it won't hold for long. The small window above the toilet might be her only escape route, but it's barely wide enough for her shoulders. Boss, a voice calls from the hallway. Found it. Relief floods through Emma for a moment. Maybe they'll take the package and leave. Then she hears the suited man's response. Find whoever brought it here. No witnesses. The bathroom door handle jiggles. Emma climbs onto the toilet, pushing at the window. It's painted shut. Behind her, something heavy slams against the door. The frame splinters. Emma grabs Maya's ceramic soap dispenser and smashes it against the window. The glass cracks but holds. Another slam of the door, harder this time. The lock starts to give. A third hit breaks both the bathroom door and the window. Cold night air rushes in as Emma scrambles through the opening, cutting her hands on broken glass. The metal grating of the fire escape clangs under her feet. There, someone shouts. A hand grabs at her ankle. Emma kicks backward blindly and feels her foot connect with something solid. A grunt of pain, then the hand releases. She doesn't look back, just runs down the fire escape as fast as she dares. Gunshots crack through the night. Sparks fly off the metal railing beside her. Emma keeps running, counting floors. 6, 5, 4. More shots. A bullet punches through her borrowed pajama pants, missing flesh by inches. 3, 2. She jumps the last flight, landing hard in a pile of garbage bags behind the building. Pain shoots through her ankle, but adrenaline keeps her moving. The sound of heavy footsteps on the fire escape above drives her forward. Emma limps into the maze of alleyways behind Maya's building, trying to remember the layout from her college days. Left at the dumpster, right at the chain-link fence, straight past the loading dock. A car engine roars to life nearby. Headlights sweep the alley. Emma presses herself against a wall, hoping the shadows hide her. The car crawls past her hiding spot. A black SUV with tinted windows. Through the passenger window, she glimpses a cobra tattoo. They're hunting her now, and they know what she looks like. The package is gone, but that doesn't matter anymore. She's seen their faces, knows about the bank robberies, the murder. The money was never the real problem. She is. As police sirens wail in the distance, Emma realizes she's stepped into something much bigger and much deadlier than a simple wrong delivery. And now there's no going back. Dawn finds Emma huddled in St. Michael's Church, the last place she could think to hide. Her ankle throbs, and dried blood from the window cuts makes her hands look like a Jackson Pollock painting. The early morning mass provides cover, just another sinner seeking redemption among the faithful. The police weren't an option after she overheard the suited man's phone call during her escape. Our friends at the precinct are monitoring all reports. Nothing gets filed without us knowing. The corruption runs deeper than she imagined. A figure slides into the pew beside her. Emma tenses, ready to run despite her injuries. "The Lord works in mysterious ways," Mr. Chen says quietly, his eyes fixed on the altar. Her elderly neighbor looks different outside their building. Sharper, more alert, though sometimes he needs help from old friends. "How did you find you?" He smiles slightly. "I've tracked worse people to better hiding spots during my 30 years with the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit. Though I must admit, you're the first to lead me to morning mass." Emma's mind reels. The quiet old man who always seemed to be watching the hallway, who knew everyone's schedules, who noticed everything. He wasn't just being nosy. "You're retired," she manages. "Officially." Mr. Chen's voice remains barely above a whisper. "Unofficially, I'd spent the last year watching Apartment 4B. Your unexpected package delivery just blew an 18-month investigation." The church's stained glass casts colored shadows across his face as he continues. "The first Metro Bank robberies are just the surface. We're looking at a network of corrupt bankers, dirty cops, and enough laundered money to fund a small country." "They have the package now," Emma says. "They found it at my friend's place. They found *A* package." Mr. Chen's smile widens slightly. "Amazing what you can do with a few encyclopedias and some wrapping paper. The real money is quite safe." Emma stares at him. "You broke into Maya's apartment before them." "I had a key. Your friend Maya has been one of our civilian assets since college. Why do you think she was so willing to let you stay?" The pieces click together. Maya's convenient business trip, the spare room ready to go, the perfect escape route through the bathroom window. It wasn't luck. It was a setup. "The trackers," Emma starts, "led them exactly where we wanted. Though I must say, your parkour performance down the fire escape wasn't part of the plan. Impressive, but unnecessary." A police siren wails past the church. Emma flinches, but Mr. Chen remains perfectly still. "They'll kill Catherine," she whispers. "My sister, she needs expensive treatment. That's why I couldn't. Why I almost." "Your sister's medical bills have been paid," Mr. Chen interrupts. "Anonymous donor. The payment cleared this morning." Tears blur Emma's vision. Why? Because good people sometimes make bad choices for the right reasons, and because we need your help. He finally turns to look at her directly. "You've seen their faces. You know their methods. And most importantly, they think you're still running scared with their money. You want me to be bait. I want you to be a hero." He pulls a phone from his pocket. A burner, probably untraceable. "Your choice. Walk away now, start fresh somewhere else. Your sister's taken care of either way. Or help us bring down an organization that's destroyed countless lives." The church organ starts playing, the sound filling the cavernous space. Emma thinks of the dead bank employee, of Maya's risk in helping her, of Mr. Chen's 18 months of patient watching. She thinks of Catherine, finally getting treatment without having to choose between debt and death. "If I help," she says slowly, "I need guarantees. Protection for my sister, for Maya. Already arranged." He stands, surprisingly spry for his age. "We have a safe house ready. Time to disappear for a while, Miss Torres. The real work is about to begin." As Emma follows him through a side door, she realizes that somewhere between finding that package and now, she's stepped through a looking glass. The world looks the same, but all the rules have changed. And maybe, just maybe, that's not entirely a bad thing. The safe house turns out to be a luxury apartment in the financial district, 30 stories up with floor-to-ceiling windows. Emma stands at the glass, watching sunset paint the city gold. It's been 3 days since the church, 3 days of learning just how deep this rabbit hole goes. "Ready for your briefing?" Mr. Chen enters, carrying 2 cups of green tea. Behind him comes Agent Sarah Martinez, FBI tactical specialist, her dark hair pulled back in a severe bun. They've been practicing for tonight's operation all day. "Run it again," Emma says, accepting the tea. Her hands don't shake anymore. Fear has been replaced by something else. Purpose, maybe, or revenge. Martinez spreads surveillance photos across the glass coffee table. First Metro Bank's corruption goes straight to the top. CEO Marcus Sterling has been orchestrating the robberies, making them look like outside jobs while cleaning dirty money through the system. And our cobra-tattooed friend, Emma asks. James Snake Morrison, ex-military turned enforcer. He handles Sterling's problem-solving. Martinez taps another photo, the suited man from the apartment. This is William Hayes, Sterling's fixer. He arranges the cover-ups, bribes the right people. Mr. Chen sips his tea. Tonight is their biggest operation yet. 20 million in marked bills coming through First Metro's main branch. They think you're still out there with their money, which means they're distracted, sloppy. Emma studies the bank's blueprint. And my role. You're the wild card, Martinez says. They'll be watching their usual blind spots, but not the ones you discovered. Your food delivery uniform gives you access to the building's service entrance. We need you to plant these. She slides over what look like small adhesive buttons. Micro cameras. Give us eyes inside. The risk, Mr. Chen starts, is necessary. Emma finishes. Her phone shows a text from Catherine. First treatment working. Doctors optimistic. The message hardens her resolve. A knock at the door makes them all freeze. Martinez draws her weapon while Mr. Chen checks the security feed. It's Hayes, he whispers. Emma's pulse quickens. Impossible. They can't know. No, Martinez interrupts, studying the feed. He's here to see his mistress. Lives 2 doors down. Classic Sterling operation, keeping dirt on everyone involved. They watch Hayes walk past their door, carrying roses. Emma's mind races. Change of plans, she says suddenly. I know how we can get everything. The original plan is safer, Mr. Chen cautions. But incomplete, Emma counters. Hayes keeps records, leverage on everyone involved. Insurance for himself. He wouldn't trust a cloud service, not with this much risk. But his mistress's apartment. Martinez catches on. While he's distracted, I can get in there, Emma says. The delivery uniform, remember. Buildings like this, they never look twice at service workers, if his pattern holds. Thursday night dates, Mr. Chen confirms. 2 hours minimum. Long enough to clone his phone, find his files. Emma turns back to the window, watching night cling the city. We get the evidence first, then hit the bank. Take it all down at once. Martinez studies her. It wasn't in the briefing, but Hayes has a panic button. Armed response within 3 minutes. You'll have no backup in there. I've been running scared for days, Emma says quietly. Maybe it's time they did some running. Mr. Chen and Martinez exchange looks. Finally, Martinez nods. I'll get you the phone cloning tech. Chen, we need building schematics for both apartments. If this works, Mr. Chen says, the whole organization falls. If it doesn't, it'll work. Emma watches Hayes' reflection in the window, laughing with his mistress on their balcony. They thought I was just some scared delivery girl. That's their weakness. Underestimating people. Time to make them pay for it. As they plan into the night, Emma realizes she's changed. The woman who found that package feels like a stranger now. She thinks of Catherine, fighting her battle in the hospital. Some fights choose you, some enemies make themselves, and sometimes the only way forward is through. Tonight, she'll step into the lion's den armed with nothing but courage and conviction. But this time, she's not running away. She's running straight at them. The service elevator smells like cleaning supplies and secrets. Emma adjusts her delivery cap, checking her reflection in the brushed steel walls. The phone cloning device feels heavy in her pocket, along with Martinez's microcameras. 5 minutes until Hayes' usual Thursday rendezvous. Comms check. Martinez's voice whispers through her barely visible earpiece. Clear. Emma responds softly, watching the floor numbers climb. 27, 28, 29. Remember, Mr. Chen's voice joins in. Hayes keeps a Glock 19 in his jacket. If he returns early, I run. No heroics. The elevator stops at 30. Emma takes a deep breath, pushing her cart of delivered meals into the hallway. Going dark. She can see Hayes through his mistress's apartment windows, sharing wine on the balcony. Right on schedule. Emma moves to the adjacent apartment door. Hayes' secret office, discovered through building records. The electronic lock yields to Martinez's hacking device in seconds. Inside, the apartment feels unlived in. Too perfect. A show home hiding something darker. Emma moves quickly, planting cameras at predetermined points. The clone phone activates silently in her pocket, searching for Hayes' device next door. A laptop sits closed on a glass desk. Emma pulls on latex gloves and opens it. The fingerprint reader blinks red, but Mr. Chen's copied fingerprint film works perfectly. The screen comes alive with folders labeled by date. "I'm in," she whispers, plugging in the USB drive. "Copying now." The download bar creeps forward. 2%, 5%, 7%. A sound from the hallway. Emma freezes. Heavy footsteps approach. Multiple sets. Not Hayes' pattern. The download reads 23%. Company. Martinez's voice crackles. 3 armed men just entered the building. Elevator heading up. Emma's heart pounds. 41%. The footsteps reach her floor. "Get out," Mr. Chen orders. "Abort now." But the files are everything. Proof of corruption, murder, all of it. 56%. The footsteps stop outside. Emma disconnects, leaving the copy running. She slides under the desk just as the door opens. 2 sets of shoes enter her field of vision. Expensive leather. Armed escort boots. Sterling wants confirmation. A familiar voice says, "Snake Morrison. The girl's still out there with our money. Hayes assured me she's been located." Another man responds. His sources spotted her near the Canadian border. Emma holds her breath. The download hits 84%. And the FBI problem. Chen's been watching, but he's alone. No official investigation. They're wrong on both counts, Emma thinks. The download reaches 92%. Check everything. Snake orders. Hayes doesn't know we're here. Let's see what our insurance man's insurance looks like. Drawers open. Papers shuffle. 97%. 1 set of boots moves toward the desk. Emma sees a hand reach for the laptop. 99%. A woman's laugh pierces the wall. Hayes' mistress. The hand withdraws. Later, Snake says, "Hayes is due back soon. We'll return with more time." 100%. The USB disconnects with a soft click masked by the closing door. Emma waits 30 seconds before uncurling from under the desk, muscles screaming. Clear. Martinez confirms, but Hayes is ending his date early. 2 minutes max. Emma grabs the USB and moves to the door. Through the peephole, she sees Snake and his man waiting by the elevator. Behind her, keys jingle in Hayes' mistress's door. She's trapped. "Service elevator," Mr. Chen says urgently. Maintenance override initiated. Emma slips into the hallway as Hayes steps out next door. Their eyes meet for a split second. Recognition dawns on his face. "You." He reaches for his jacket. Emma is already running, delivery cart abandoned. The surface elevator opens on Martinez's signal. She dives in as Hayes' shout alerts Snake. Found her. The door's close on gunfire. Emma hits the lobby button, gasping. Package secured. She manages between breaths. But they'll know everything now. No more element of surprise. On the contrary, Mr. Chen sounds pleased. They know exactly what we wanted them to know. The real files were encrypted. What you grabbed was the key. Martinez finishes. Time for phase 2. Hope you're ready for a late night at the bank, Emma. The elevator descends as sirens begin wailing above. Emma clutches the USB drive. thinking of Catherine, of the dead bank employee, of every life these men have ruined. "Ready," she says, steel in her voice. "I've been ready since they picked the wrong door for that package." First Metro Bank's main lobby gleams with marble and secrets. Emma adjusts her maintenance uniform, pushing her cleaning cart past late-night security. The decrypt program runs silently on her phone, processing the files they stole 6 hours ago. Above her, surveillance cameras track her movement, now feeding directly to Martinez's command center. Guards changing shifts in 3 minutes. Mr. Chen's voice guides her. Sterling and Hayes are in the executive office. Snake's team is sweeping the building. Emma swipes her forged maintenance card at the service door, 98% decrypted. The basement vault holds their $20 million in marked bills, but the real prize sits in Sterling's private safe. Ledgers of every dirty deal, every bought official, every murdered whistleblower. "Company," Martinez warns. Snake heading down the east stairwell. Emma ducks into a supply closet, heart thundering. Through the slats, she watches Snake pass, cobra tattoos stark under fluorescent lights. Her phone vibrates. Decryption complete. "My God," Mr. Chen breathes, reading the data. "Sterling's been moving billions. Federal judges, police captains, even your old FBI director." Sterling's voice cuts through their comms. Static replaces Mr. Chen's warning. "Impressive operation, Ms. Torres. Really. From food delivery to federal investigation in under a week." Emergency lights flash. Metal shutters seal the windows. Emma runs for the stairs, but both doors lock electronically. "Your friends outside are currently explaining themselves to some very well-paid officers," Sterling continues. "Don't worry about Mr. Chen and Agent Martinez. They'll be comfortable in custody." Snake and 2 guards appear at both ends of the hallway. No escape. "Bring her up," Sterling orders. The executive office occupies the entire top floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcase the city's nightscape. Sterling sits behind a massive desk, Hayes standing nervously beside him. Both men's expensive suits can't hide the tension in their shoulders. "The money was never in your friend's apartment," Sterling muses as Snake pushes Emma into a chair. "Chen played us beautifully, but then he trained half the people who work for me." "You've lost," Emma says quietly. "The files are already uploaded. Time release protocol. By morning, every news outlet will report a tragic murder-suicide." Hayes interrupts. "Disgraced FBI agent and his civilian accomplice killed after their corruption scheme was exposed. Your sister Catherine will be heartbroken." Emma's blood runs cold at Catherine's name. Speaking of family, Sterling opens his laptop, turning it to show a hospital security feed. Catherine sleeps peacefully, an armed guard visible outside her door. Shame about medical mistakes. They happen so randomly. Emma's fingers curl around the small remote in her pocket, Martinez's last resort. One button, a signal to the real FBI tactical team, hidden in the building across the street. Although, Sterling continues, arrangements could be made. Your sister's treatment, your own comfort. I reward loyalty, Miss Torres. Just ask Hayes. Hayes shifts uncomfortably. Emma notices something odd. His collar is crooked. Hayes never has crooked collars. You should accept, Hayes says too quickly. He's being generous. Emma looks closer. Hayes' left hand keeps touching his tie, where Martinez planted a micro-camera during his mistress's apartment sweep. The feed isn't dead. It's live. Think carefully. Sterling stands, moving to the window. Your next words determine several lives. Emma meets Hayes' eyes. His micro-twitch confirms it. He's turned. The files must have something on him too damning to hide. You're right, Emma says finally. Family is everything. She presses the remote button. That's why Agent Martinez is with my sister right now, while the hospital security feed you're watching is 6 hours old. Sniper lasers paint red dots across Snake's chest. Sterling spins as FBI helicopters rise into view outside his windows. Hayes draws his gun, pointing it at Snake. The thing about family, Emma stands slowly, is sometimes they're not who you're born to. Sometimes they're who you choose to protect. The windows explode inward as tactical teams zipline through. Sterling reaches for his desk drawer, but Hayes is faster. Snake's men drop their weapons as Mr. Chen strides out of the private elevator, very much not in custody. Marcus Sterling. Chen's voice carries over the chaos. I've waited 18 months to say this. You're under arrest. As dawn breaks over the city, Emma watches Sterling and Snake led away in chains. Her phone buzzes. A text from Catherine showing her morning pills with the caption, "Getting stronger." Emma smiles. Sometimes the wrong package arrives at exactly the right door.